Only on KCCI, we're sitting down with Governor Kim Reynolds to get more details on her plans for the legislative session.
She announced this week that she's creating a Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, on the state level.
Chief Political Reporter Amanda Rooker spoke with the governor today about who will serve on the state DOGE and how their work could impact state lawmakers' plans to cut property taxes. Amanda.
Well, Ben and Stacy, Emily Schmidt, the general counsel of Sukup Manufacturing, will lead the Iowa DOGE, and the governor plans to officially create it in an executive order soon. She told me that DOGE will meet for about 6 months, and the governor hopes to have their findings out by the end of the year. Who else will be serving on that commission?
So we're still building that out, and it'll be just a lot of entrepreneurs and business leaders, as well as local government officials from across the state. So it'll be a good representation of our state. We like to keep it somewhat small, and then they'll have the opportunity to pull in other people as they see fit. That's kind of a template that we've used with other task force that I've put together. We'll give them kind of some broad parameters of what, the expectation of the task force, but I really want them to, take a look at what they're doing in business, take a look at how we're doing things in government, and how do we really make government more efficient, more effective, take advantage of technology and AI, and really what does it look like moving forward.
So will there be a channel between the federal DOGE and the Iowa DOGE?
Oh, absolutely, and that was the recommendation even when we met with the president, that we really need to see what we're doing at the state level, to look at block grants, to make sure we've got transparency and accountability, but some flexibility in how we implement this funding that comes to the state from, like, the Department of Education. Maybe we can do a block grant for that.
What do you want to see as lawmakers start to develop property tax proposals this session?
So we kind of let them take the lead on it this year because they talked a lot about it and said that was one of their top priorities. So I've kind of let them kind of take the lead. I've sat down with Senator Dawson, and I like the direction he's going in. It's in the early stages, so we'll continue to meet with him and work with him, and the House as well. I've also sat down with Representative Kaufman, and he's ready to come to the table and figure out what we can do to start to bring those property taxes down and still meet the services that Iowans expect. So again, when there's duplication of services, that drives the cost up, property taxes stay high. So that's it can be another part of DOGE, looking at ways that we can help bring property taxes down by streamlining services. So look forward to working with the legislature and see what we can get accomplished this year. And if we can't, because it's hard. If it was easy, it would have been done. And we've been talking about this for a long time, kind of trying different things to help, restrain some of the growth. But if not, then we're going to work over the entire interim with legislators and figure out what we need to do and local government officials and figure out what we need to do to get this, to really address this.